And welcome back. This is Sean Taggart and Ian Owano back at you again with some holiday prep. Today we're going to be talking to you about order processing, going in and talking about how to process it in a batch, our Packers Workstation feature and Multichannel Order Manager, or MOM for short, and last but not least the pick-pack process. Let's get started.
And here we are with MOM again, and we're going to be looking into now the order processing in MOM. So first I'm going to take you guys onto the global parameters where you can set the workflow that you'd like to set for your business. Within the global parameters you have the order processing design. This allows you to configure how you want to process your orders. So within here you can actually set the stages for pick tickets, packing slips, gift certs, box labels, and shipping to either run in batch or Packers Workstation. Now I've set up mine in kind of a hybrid mode so that way I can get best of both worlds. Now ideally when you process everything in batch you're gonna have more output of orders because you're pretty much printing all the paperwork in bulk and then handing that to your warehouse resources, and then they fulfill those orders. Versus Packers Workstation, which requires a particular resource to actually look at the package one by one as they pack it. Now we're going to see both in action, since again the way I've set up my system is more of a hybrid, so I have the best of both worlds. So this is where you would set up the flow. Also want to point out with here you can actually set some checkpoints. So if an order has to be reviewed by a manager based on certain checkpoints, you can set those checkpoints right here. So we have all these different options. So as you can imagine, as orders are coming into our systems, we want to make sure we vetted them out to make sure they're actually real orders or the orders that we actually want to process. So we have set up some rules here that you can pick and choose. For example, the ones I've checked here is the total of the order exceeds $1,000. Now that's a big order in my system, so I want to make sure that's a real order and that's going to an actual customer. Again, to kind of reduce the fraud. If an order is being shipped overnight, if the order is entered by a trainee, you want to review that by a manager. Now this gives you the ability to actually review all those orders and before they actually go to the batch. Speaking of batch, within the same configuration here, you can actually check the different stages you typically run in batch. Now every single configuration is different, so that's why we added this particular option to default it to the configuration you typically run in batch. So this saves you time and it actually streamlines the process and avoids mistakes. You can imagine if you go to the batch and come back and go into the batch and check or uncheck the different stages you need to run every single time, that leaves room for error, and that error can be costly in time and cost for your business. So we added this option so that you can avoid that by streamlining it and making it more efficient. We also put in a new feature here for limiting batch process to a certain number of orders, in this case 100. Now that could differ based on what your warehouse resource looks like. If your warehouse resource can handle more, you can put that up. But if your warehouse resource can only handle a certain number, it makes sense to do the batches based on what they can handle. So you can set that option right here. So go ahead and save out of here. Once you save that, I'm going to go to our batch processing screen, which is here. So on our previous episodes, we saw that we entered the orders, and now we can process those orders. Now each of the stages you can see here are what we call latch stages. So the 5 that you see in the pick tickets can't be shipped until they've actually been processed to be picked. So you can see it's listed who they're going to, what their order numbers are. So you can hit process here and it'll process those five orders, and they will go down the stages. So also what we have in the batch screen, depending on how you again process your orders, it could really differ from each business. You can actually filter orders out by given order number range, order date, order range, by month, ship date, all orders, and then you can have any filters. So let's say you're a pecan pie business and basically you have a lot of orders that are only pecan pies and a single line item, and you only want to process those orders. I can simply hit stock items here, look for that particular item, and then I can hit process. Now once I hit process here and go back to batch, this is only process all the orders that have a particular item called vitamin. In this case it could have been the pie. That again saving you time to kind of pick and slice and dice the different batches that you can create within MOM. Here we have different checkbox to process single line item orders only. That could be you want to prioritize those because you know those are easy to set up or easy to pack within your warehouse. So you want to make sure you run through them first, And once they're all complete, then you can go to your regular batch and you can slice that up however you like. Again, the whole point here is that we're giving you guys flexibility to pick and choose how you want to process your order. So we really have the different feature sets and filters for you guys so that you can process it the way you guys want it. So again, once you hit process here, it's going to run through, print the paperwork for you, and then you can hand that over to your warehouse resource. So I'm going to go ahead and hit process here. So you can see the pick ticket comes up. So let's take a quick look at what the pick ticket looks like. So you can see here we have what we call individual pick tickets, and we also do carding. So you can see this is a paperwork that we can share with our warehouse resources, and they can use this to pick and pack. So this is all the different 5 orders we had, and based on our previous episode, you can remember those order instructions. They would actually show up right here under fulfillment instructions, so that if we had certain criteria or certain preference on how the order is packed or handled, we can put that right here, and your picker and packers can clearly see it within the pick ticket. So I'm going to go ahead and exit here. Another way we actually can process orders in MOM is what we call the Packer's Workstation. So you saw that in batch, you can hit process, it would print the paperwork, so the pick ticket, packing slips, the labels, and then eventually it goes to the shipping and shipped to your order. The other thing is what we call the Packer's Workstation. Within the Packer's Workstation, you get a different screen. Again, the batch, you saw that you can push bulk orders right to the batch. All the paperworks are printed all in one shot for you. Packer's Workstation is slightly different, where it's more geared to be more accurate, right? So as you can imagine, if you have the vitamin and the t-shirt here, you can actually scan their barcode, and as you scan, it would actually match that, and it would move it to the left to right. Same thing with a t-shirt. And once that is all packed here, you can then go ahead and print the packing slips, or you can weigh the box, or edit the box, or label the box. You can do it all right here. Again, ensuring that the package that's getting out of your location is an accurate order, avoiding any mispicks or costly returns down the line because you had the wrong items in the box. Again, so right now the way my system is set up, it's really a hybrid. So I'm doing the packing slips here. Once the packing slip is actually printed, it'll go to the rest of the batch. So that's 2 different ways of processing orders in MOM. And I showed you some of the paperworks there, the pick pack on the MOM side. So really, just to summarize again, if you have during the busy season where you're looking for more output or throughput for your warehouse resources, you might think about either going fully batch or a hybrid where you do some Packer's Workstation. But if you're in need to actually output more orders, we would recommend that you do batches. That way the paperwork's printed, it's given out to your resources, and they fulfill those orders, and then you can go on to the next batch. But that's how MOM processes the different order processes in MOM, and I'm going to give it back to Sean. Thank you.
So now that you have the order processing down pat for your holiday process, just make sure that your team is up to date with the latest changes and plans that you're going to be doing for this holiday season to make sure that your order processing side of things is just as efficient as your other areas of the business. When it comes to holiday help, make sure you have someone keeping a close eye on them too, to make sure that the process continues to run smoothly and efficiently. Check out a blog about this topic and many more at freestylesolutions.com. This is Sean Tagger and Ian Owano. Thanks for joining us.